Hello guys, welcome to another weekly vlog. I know you're probably sick of listening to that sticking thing. Sick of me being in the low fuel. Great. Why is it always me in the car when it's low fuel? And I have to drive all the way into my mum's, and I've got several jobs I need to do today. And one of them is putting in petrol. Forgot to look at the dogs in that car. There's dogs in a car of the people that are cleaning out the house that our neighbour moved out of. I say neighbour, he's 2 doors up. The one that left it all kinds of untidy. So this morning I get a text from Isaac's got a SIM card through 1p mobile, which basically at the start you basically just top up a tenner every couple of months, and Isaac never texts, or the rare occasion that he uses his phone is to phone me or his dad to say I missed the bus, whatever, and it's only a 1p. Somebody's calling me. So that was the district nurse. I don't know why it didn't make any noise. I think she's broken the key safe. She can't get the key safe to close, so that'll be the next thing. Yeah, so anyway, Isaac's mobile thing, I got a message this morning. Now there's been so much happening over the past few months that I've had messages to say his phone's been topped up, and I've been like, alright, and I haven't paid much attention. But I got one this morning and I thought, hang on, I'm sure I had one like a couple of weeks ago. What's this? So I went in and checked it, and it said your balance has dropped below £2. So we've basically put 20 quid on, and I'm thinking, well, it's only supposed to put 10 quid on at a time for a start. So that's the first issue. So I went in and I thought, I wonder, can I see usage? And I went into the usage, and it's absolutely fine up until 4 months ago, March. Obviously he's switched on mobile data and has forgotten to switch it off, and he's been doing shit like watching YouTube videos on the bus. Now he doesn't have a contract with like limitless data, and he's been burning through loads of, it's cost me 80 quid over the past couple of months in data, past 3 months. And your dad, or his dad, started this morning ranting and raving about it, and he says, go and get your phone now. And I thought, right, well that's great. Isaac's going to go out of the room, get the phone, turn the mobile data off, and then swear blind he didn't have it on, which is exactly what he did. I said to Darren, make sure that you get the phone, because he will lie, because he's a teenager, and he's swearing blind he didn't have mobile data on. I can look and see the hours that it's used, and the hours that it's used is on the bus in the way in, on the bus on the way home, and lunchtime. That's the 3 periods where he's running up all the data, and he's swearing blind that mobile data isn't on, which obviously it is. So now I'm having to try and look into the reason I don't want a contract that you can't get out of is Isaac loses stuff all the time. If he loses that phone, I'll kick his arse, because it's my last phone. It's an iPhone. Darren doesn't even have an iPhone because he said he can't afford one, so he doesn't have one. He always gets, when I upgrade every 3 years, he gets my old phone. So he's on an iPhone 13 at the minute. I'm only on a 14. And you know what I mean? But if I was to get a contract SIM, I looked at the one that I wanted was like a 24-month contract. Problem with that is if Isaac loses his phone, then I'm stuck paying this SIM only deal, having to get him a new phone and having to get him a new contract. So I want the one that he's through does this bundle, which if I had it, it's a tenner a month, and it's something like 5,000 texts and phone calls, which he doesn't use, and 10 gig of data. So that's the one I want. Now, I don't want him watching fucking YouTube on the bus, because he's running through so much data, it's ridiculous. What was I going to say? I don't even go through 2 gig of data a month. I maybe go through just over 1, and on his last period he's gone over 10 gig. It's like, Jesus Christ. But anyway, so that was a nice thing to find out. Also, I can't get onto the Tesco mobile site. They're useless, that chat thing that you try and do. I can't get onto anything that's internety, so like browsing new phones, browsing SIM-only deals through the app or on the internet. I keep getting access 403 forbidden code. I asked Darren to try, he was getting the same one, so I'm like, oh, it must be a server, and Darren says no, it's been doing that on me for a couple of months now. I just never thought to say, I keep forgetting. So then I went on the laptop, exactly the same thing, so I contacted them via that live chat thing. Person was useless, just kept telling me to contact the sales team to see about SIM-only deals. I says, yeah, well, that's fine, but I need to be able to access my mobile account to check my usage, all that stuff. It's no good just solving the issue of allowing me to look at the SIMs. I need to figure out why no idea, just kept telling me to call the sales team. So after a lot of Googling and a lot of reading, what it seems could be the case is that our IP address has been blocked, which quite often happens when you try and enter the wrong login details too many times, which I know Darren has done because he told me a few months back he couldn't get in and, you know, he was having all sorts of issues. So because they think it may be fraudulent activity, they ban your IP address. The reason I think it is that is because I switched on my VPN, which obviously, if you don't know, I'm sure you all do that's watching this, a VPN, virtual private network, it assigns you a random IP address from anywhere else in the world. So like I use it for stuff like if you want to access stuff that's only available in America, I use it for that a lot. So I switched it on to Manchester, connected straight in. So it's obviously the IP address that the issue is with. I went back and told the person I was speaking to this, and they just didn't know what they were talking about. So obviously I had to leave to go into my mum's. So yeah, and she apparently the carer said her catheter was leaking. Yes, we're back to fucking catheters again. And she says, well, I couldn't do much because I'm on my own, and she's up and ready and sitting to go out uptown with you, and but they had emptied 200 mils out of it this afternoon, so I'm not too concerned about it. If it's still doing it, call me back. And I'm like, so never a dull moment, huh? So yeah, so at the minute I'm trying to sort out him Darren doesn't want me to. Darren wants the iPhone taken off him and to give him his old Android, which is a piece of shit, because he's really cross. Whereas I'm from the viewpoint of he's a teenager, he's done something, he's not been honest about it, which is not good. But when I think back to when I was a teenager, we've all done silly things. I burnt through my data because I was listening to true crime in bed, and our Wi-Fi dropped out, mobile data kicked in, and I drained all of my data usage for the month. Darren did it when we were in Florida. He put on his mobile data, forgot to switch it off, and he was browsing in the hotel, which had Wi-Fi, that evening, and he ran up 35 quid worth of a bill. So we've all done it, and I don't think taking his phone off him is going to solve anything. He's basically been told you do not use the internet on the bus, as simple as that. Because he has a little iPod he can listen to music on. But we'll have to see. But Darren doesn't want me getting a contract. He says, well, the thing you've got, you only have to pay a tenner every 2 months. Why should you pay a tenner every month? And I'm thinking, well, a tenner every month gets 10 gig of data. And his argument is, well, I shouldn't be using data. And I'm thinking, well, just in case. Things like in school they have to use it sometimes. But we'll have to see. I have to pick up Alice something for her birthday today. I'm usually so organised, and this is all done well in advance. What the fuck's going on up there? But at the minute, there's just so much happening, and so many birthdays happening, and Father's Day's this weekend, I think. It is. And I've got nothing for Darren, nothing for my dad, because I've no idea what to pick up for either of them. Alice's birthday is this Saturday, or on Tuesday, My mum's 70th is in a couple of weeks, so I'm trying to get all this sorted. So Austria last night, bullied schoolboy, it's saying at the moment, has killed 9 people. He's dead, obviously. I don't know, it's too early to know whether he killed himself, what happened, but it's a bit scary. Also last night in town, in our town, basically in the last month there have been 2 serious sexual assaults of teenage girls in a particular area, and the one that happened a few nights ago, I think it was Saturday past, they've arrested the 2 people that did it, and they were 2 14-year-old boys. This is I think the girl's 14 too, a serious sexual assault, and unfortunately the boys are Romanian, and they live in an area which is got a high proportion of people from other countries. So all of the gobshites are obviously using this, you know, for the whole anti-immigration palaver. Now, you're not supposed to talk about this, but you know me. I mean, I am vehemently against illegal immigration of loads of groups of young men that just are all coming in on boats. But I do support immigration from war-torn areas for people that need help and support. I'm very much for that. But, you know, the crime in certain areas has gone through the roof because of illegal immigration. Sexual assaults are getting to be quite a common thing. Well, they always were, but I mean, it's got worse, especially in particular areas. And obviously there's loads of people from other countries. Poland and Romania are the 2 main places here at the moment. Loads of like law-abiding, decent citizens working hard, doing their jobs, but you obviously will have an element in any sets of people. But this has caused all the gobshites to come out for a big protest last night, which ended in a riot where they were throwing shit at the police, and they broke all the windows of multiple houses, including the one that these teenage boys are supposed to be from, and set fire to it. I think they've set fire to multiple houses, so there will be houses that aren't the house of the people that have done anything wrong, and they've set fire to the bloody thing. You want to go? He's not going to hear me, is he? Honest to God, see, looking last night at some of the footage online, one of the women is heard say, so these masked, balaclavaed gobshites are breaking all the windows and trying to kick the doors into this house, and there's big crowds of people about, and one of the women shouts, "Oh, there's someone in the living room," and another woman says, "If it's a local, they need to get out. If it isn't, they can fucking stay there," meaning we're about to set fire to this house, and if it's not a local person, then they should burn. It's infuriating, it really is, the gobshites that come out in force because a couple of bad apples have done something. Anyway, I'm going to go and see what's going on with this bloody key safe now. I'll catch up with you guys later on. Hi guys, it is Wednesday. They're cutting their grass back there in that big field, so there'll be hay balers out tonight at Christ only knows what hour. Right, Darren's cut the grass. He insists on doing this for the bees, but fair enough. But our gate, a little bit crack in the wall there, our gate is here so everybody can see into this part of the garden. Why not do it on this side? And it refuses to trim. Look at the edge. I now have to go out and weed the whole garden. But why? What's the issue with fucking trimming the edges? Look. Honestly. Right. Bedtime for dogs. Lily's come out, which I'm happy about. Look at the state of this here, look. These are all weeds. Actually, those white ones aren't. They are shamrock. But it's about to all get cut down because I'm just letting I'm gonna let the grass, get some more grass and let it grow just to here. Although I don't know if I should, because I put this sort of like lattice up so that I could grow stuff up this wall. But the sweet pea that I planted last year is nowhere to be seen. It's all dead. So I'm just gonna hack this down for now. That rose took, because look, it's grown really weird up the back of that, and now it's out here, which is strange. But all this grass as well, look. There's just so much to actually, I have to pull all that down as well. Hello Dobby. I put the blanket over there for you. That's my sitting on mat when I get down. Oh, look at the fucking state of this, honest to God. Hello? Hello pretty girl. Right, and I have to pull them weeds up. And I've got the string right, so let's see what happened. That needs extending. Apparently this keeps breaking, the wire on it. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I've got their little beds to sit in. Right, let's have a go. So I'm done. That's the washing machine, you can hear. You can see that bush is starting to bud again. All we did, Darren is fucking hive, and we did over there, which the bin is hiding. Yeah, so all done. We're tidy again for now. Hello, it is Wednesday evening, and we are just heading to the cinema to see Fright Club's screening of Hellraiser, the original Hellraiser. The guy who plays Butterball, Simon Bamford. Now, look at the far hanging basket. It's all wilted. We need to water it. All my sweet peas all wilted. I can't reach it to water it.
Or has it been overwatered with rain? It's gone wilted.
No, it doesn't wilt with water. It's probably dry, because it hasn't rained in a while, is it? Oh, I don't know.
Yesterday.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to see that tonight. I'll tell you what, I can't remember who Butterball is.
You know?
No.
It's like a melted fat man with sunglasses on. Looks a bit like me, actually.
The only thing I remember about, talking about melted, I just noticed when I was putting on makeup, I've started with a turkey neck. There's like a skin here on my neck, and it's disgusting.
Jesus,
it's awful.
Christ.
When you turn sideways, it goes all sinewy and horrible. So yeah, I noticed that earlier. That was great. It's like, oh jeez, I'm gonna have to start buying that tape to put behind your ears to pull your neck back. Yeah, so the reason, if it was someone I knew who it was, I'd be like, oh, pretty cool to have a picture and stuff, but I couldn't remember who it was. The only thing I remember from Hellraiser, it's been this long, is Pinhead, is Frank, is what happens to Frank, is Frank's wife. It's obviously the, what do you call the cube thing?
It's like the third most famous monster.
Right.
There's Pinhead.
Yeah.
Is it Cenobite? The woman?
They're all Cenobites.
Oh, the woman one with the bald head.
Yeah, I know who she is.
And
yeah.
then there's him, which is like a big fat blob of a man with sunglasses.
I'm surprised you didn't want to get a selfie then. If you're, I don't know who he is. Yeah. So I don't know if no, I haven't. I'll tell you now while we're driving, just for a change. Oh, maybe did. I maybe did. There's riots in Ballymena at the minute. If you watch the news and you're in the UK, you will have seen it. It's a fucking disgrace. 2 14-year-olds from Romania
allegedly
have, well, I'm not going to even use the word alleged, but anyway, there was a sexual assault of a 14-year-old girl. Now, from doing a little bit of reading in different places, apparently it's the third one in 2 weeks, or it's a third assault. So people obviously are lumping in with the let's get all the immigrants out, immigrant this, immigrant that, immigrant the other, and it's like, last year we had a girl murdered and cut into pieces in Ballymena, but because the people that did it were white and from Northern Ireland, there was no protests. There was
David Tweed, the DUP MP rugby player, the Irish international rugby player, paedophile, got off in court on a technicality. They know he'd done it because his daughters came forward and said he's abused us since we were children.
Basically what we're trying to say is this
Nonsense.
sort of thing is going on all the time, all over the world, by lots of different kind of people, and it's nasty people. It's not because they're immigrants, but because something's happened and it's immigrants, and we're talking two 14-year-old boys here, but of course there's an element of arseholes that have come over from Romania, but no more arseholes than are already here that live here, because you will get arseholes in every part of society. It's how things are. But these gobshites are coming from far and wide to our town to riot every night, to throw shit at the police. I think 32 police officers have been injured so far in 2 nights. They had to put the water cannons and the public, what do you call them, rubber bullets on them last night. It's just, they're putting in people's windows, they're setting fire, they're going into their houses and setting fire to them, they're putting doors in. And not only, I don't condone them doing that to people from different, people that are immigrants. I don't condone it by any stretch of the imagination, but they're also doing it. Example, where we're going tonight, Fright Club, 2 guys run it, Gav and Danny. Danny's mum has lived in this area for 30 years, and she had her windows put in, and she's an old woman living on her own. He grew up there, and it was a really nice area, like many, many years ago. But because a lot of people have moved in via immigration, and because it is pretty much mostly immigrants that live down there, the whole area is being targeted by these thugs that are just trying to burn people out, basically, and they're causing damage to property, to cars, to businesses.
Yeah, they don't think it's right that the immigrants have the housing, so they're
setting fire to the houses. And the thing is, if they had a brain in their head, what happens is, as anyone knows, if you're in social housing or if you're not the best off financially, these people will go straight to the top of the housing ladder and will be rehoused somewhere else, and probably somewhere much nicer. So all these people that are kicking off and causing trouble, they're just putting all these people that they want to get out to the top of the housing list, where they'll be rehoused somewhere else. And it's like, what are you achieving? And why? Because 2 14-year-old idiots, regardless of where they're from, where were you when all this stuff, like some girl wrote, where were you when 25 women were killed in the last year in Northern Ireland by their partners who were like white? Where were you then? And someone actually wrote it until this one, someone had actually raised that girl, Chloe, that was killed last year. It's like, well, why did you not go riot in that area? And a relative of her came on and kicked off, don't you bring her name into this, blah blah blah, and she's in full support for what they're doing. One of the relatives of a girl that was murdered last year, she not only was she murdered, she was murdered and
won't even release what
cut into bits.
They've kept it quiet.
So because someone said, well, hang on a minute, this happened, nobody was rioting, nobody was putting people out of their houses, but because it just so happens to be a couple of immigrants, you're doing this. And I couldn't believe a family member of the murdered girl came on and basically says, keep my family member's name out of this, mind your own business, it's a completely different situation. And basically in support of this, and it's just, it makes me really mad. And I've been like really close to writing about it on Facebook multiple times, and I've stopped myself because I thought, you know what, anybody that's got a brain cell, or anybody I want to know in life, I don't need to tell to piss off my page if they support this sort of crap. And you know what I mean, it's like, what's the point of getting into an argument with people that support this shit? I've nothing to say to them, they can piss off as far as I'm concerned. I think most people I know would be in agreement with us in that it's just disgusting, but there's a couple of people that I would not be at all surprised if they support it. Do I want to start a whole fight about it on social media? No.
Tommy Robinson's involved now.
Oh, Tommy Robinson can piss off.
Oh no, it's the proud British patriots standing up for women. It's like, what?
I'll tell you what the irony is of it. Most of the people, now there are elements from both sides of the community here, Catholic and Protestant, involved in this, but most of the people that are involved in it are coming from the bottom end of town and are Union Jack flying, orange order supporting morons, for that's being nice. And these people are arguing with others on Facebook, telling them to go back where they came from, and someone will say, but I was born here. Oh well, your parents obviously weren't, blah blah blah. These people are the descendants of people from Britain that invaded Ireland, kicked out. They're calling themselves Indigenous Irish now. It's like, piss off. Indigenous. Now you're trying to make yourself like people in America. It's like...
Oh, the good one is, this is not Ireland, it's Britain.
So basically,
What?
they are having a go at people that's ancestors, parents, grandparents, whoever, once upon a time came from somewhere else to settle, and they have been born and raised here. They are every bit as much a part of the community as we are, and these people are the descendants of immigrants, but not just immigrants, people that came in and forcibly treated the Irish like absolute shit, and they're referring to themselves as Indigenous men. It's like, no mate, you know, if you've got any intelligence, you are actually the ancestor of immigrants. You're not Indigenous from here, you're not from Ireland, you're from Scotland or England. So it just makes me mad, because you're watching them having a go, and they're saying things like, oh, they're filth, they're vermin, they're dirtier than rats, and I'm thinking, I'm ashamed of being from this town right now, because it's plastered all over the TV and people are looking at that, and people in England are watching that, and I'm surprised you haven't had a member of your family yet saying, is everything alright? If your grandma's still alive, she'd be straight on the phone. I remember once there was a load of drunks going up the main street in Ballymena kicking flower pots, and somehow that made it onto the news, and Darren's gran was in a panic. Is everything alright? All it was a couple of drunks kicking them flower pots up. That was it. If she were alive now to see this, she'd be like, oh my god. But it's shameful that people think that that's what we're like, and we're not like that. That's not representative of most of the people from this town. I'm sorry, I'm on my soapbox now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've come from there to here.
Here, you're a fucking immigrant. You can piss off.
What I'm saying is, when people look at my origin, all they see on the news is grooming gangs.
Yeah.
And then from where I've come from, all they're going to see on the TV is rioting, and it's like, I can't win. I'm stuck in the middle.
There is an element everywhere. It's like Darren says, Darren is, if you don't know, Darren is from a village just outside of Bradford, and there's been a lot on the news. If you hear Bradford, the first thing anyone thinks is, oh, that's them grooming gangs and all this sort of thing. You hear Northern Ireland, all people think is, oh, the Troubles, and it's not like that now, but this is a reminder of what it used to be like, you know, for people that lived here, that what we've had to tolerate for decades with fucking idiots. And you will get them everywhere rioting. You know, the type, the Britain First type, that go out and like beat up innocent people because they happen to have their own colour skin or the wrong accent. This is what's going on here right now. And what's worrying me is when you look at anything on Facebook, I would say more than 3/4 of people are in support. And like Darren says, no, he said it's just the gobshites that are actually vocalising it are the ones. But I haven't said anything, and I hate what's going on, so like I'm a perfect example of one of the people that's just stayed quiet. But it's like, what are you meant to do?
Where did we look at a house roundabout?
Yeah,
12 years ago.
When we first moved here, we were shown a house just round the corner from all of this that's going on.
We said at the time, nah, house is nice, don't like the area.
Yeah, but oh, it's just not good. It's not good at all. Like, one of my friends usually goes to all of these screenings. Well, I don't think she's coming.
She's probably out in a balaclava. That's why she's not there.
She says with everything going on, she's too worried to go out, like, because she has to sort of come through the town centre. We're all right, we can come around the outside. And her person she lives with, he's still on for going, and she's trying to talk him out of it because she's worried about him. So, you know, and these people have said they're going to continue the rioting until all immigrants are kicked out. I mean, what?
Yeah.
It's like, really? What are you doing? yes, I think we need to have a tighter hold on illegal immigration. You're not allowed to say that, but I'm saying it. People like massive boatloads of young men coming in big groups and then making themselves a pain in the arse wherever they sell. I have issue with that. People that are coming in for protection, to make a better life for their family, to work for a living, absolutely fine. It's just this illegal sort of element that's tarring everyone with the same brush. But it's like because I'm Catholic and Irish, does it mean that I'm the same, that the IRA speaks for me? You know what I mean? No. So just because there's gobshites that are immigrants does not mean that speaks for every single immigrant. You know what I mean? It's just, you can't tar everyone with the same brush, but these people seem absolutely inset in doing that, and it's just making me really mad. Going back, Jesus, maybe 30 years ago, maybe roughly. This time it was about orange men being told they weren't allowed. Basically, in Northern Ireland, they had to set up this thing called the Parades Commission, which was a unbiased, you know, basically they told anyone that wanted to have a march whether or not they were allowed to have one. And there was lots of things taken into consideration. One of those things was, if an area, say, just as an example, is predominantly Catholic, why is an orange march that's quite contentious marching through the area? So sometimes, very rarely, might I add, they would say, no, you can't do this march. At that point, exactly what's happening now happened in our town. There was just mob rule. They were even, this is how stupid they were getting up on the signs of local bars in their own areas, twisting the signs, the letters, setting fire to stuff, setting fire to, that was someone coming out round a cyclist onto my side of the road rather than wait. They were setting fire to cars in the middle of the road. They were coming up into the centre of town and breaking all the windows on any businesses they could see that hadn't put shutters down. Where I lived at the time was a very, very loyalist area. They didn't know I was Catholic because I'm lucky enough to have a name where you can't tell. My neighbour was called Bridget. That's a very Catholic Irish name. And she lived there with her very small children, alone. She was a single mum. And she got petrol bombed out of her house, set fire to her house. And thankfully, everything was alright. She got her feet a bit burned trying to get the kids out, but she was rehoused in a really nice house afterwards, which was great. But at night, when I worked for Extravision, basically Blockbuster, and I would finish late quite a lot, and I would have to get taxis home because I didn't drive at the time, and they would set barricades across the bottom of the entry to your estate and set fire to the bar, you know, like just put all sorts of shit and set fire to it, so there was like blazing barricade across the road so no one could get into or out of their own housing estate. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you inconveniencing all of your own people? What the fuck? You know what I mean? It's like, it makes no sense. And it was just complete civil unrest for, I can't remember how long, and they said, until you let us march up this road, we're going to do this.
We're actually a stone's throw from the right in now.
Gobshites. So, yeah, I know, that's why I'm not particularly wanting to be up this section. That's like out of the way. I don't know who's going to be up here. But just trying to avoid anywhere. Look at how few cars there are on the road. I think a lot of people have thought, stay in your house. Yeah, so they're doing the same thing again. We're not getting what we want, therefore we're gonna kick off, wreck shit. It's embarrassing. And they're all using this young girl as an excuse. Oh, our women and our children. Well, you weren't fucked about our women and children, like all the years that they've been killed at the hands of their parents who are, or their partners who are mostly all white men. We don't give a shit about that.
Domestic abuse in those areas is one of the highest in the UK, yet they are protecting women.
They're gobshites. They don't care about women and teenagers. They're not bothered. All they're caring about is the fact they're racist, and they're saying, look, who's that? Is that a policeman? I can't say security. He's making his presence.
Yes,
Well, he's not very aware of anything, is he? I'm going to knock him down in a minute.
But he's got one of those Bluetooth things from 1990s on, so it's cool.
Alright, is there a space there? After that, I can't say. Oh, there's one, but I have to go between this. This guy's going to walk in my space, what do you say? Yep, I've got one in that space. And I've got one in that space.
Right.
Yeah, so Darren's just went in to stock up on sweets. He insisted on coming to Tesco beforehand. When Fright Club have their screenings at the cinema, I think we're supposed to sort of buy stuff there. You know, we're not supposed to really go and get stuff out of Tesco, but you know what Darren's like, he's not going to buy stuff at the cinema. I got a new dress. It's got them type of sleeves, which I really like. I got it from Vinted. I've started getting some stuff on Vinted because I can't believe how bloody cheap it is. I got this dress for £8. It's like knee length, and it's really nice. It's like moons and leaves and stuff. £8, and it's like a brand that's really expensive normally. It was actually a girl that does Rockfit, and they do a thing called Selling Saturday where people put up like stuff they've got on Vinted for sale. And we all tend to have similar tastes because we're all rock fans. So I'm like, oh, I spotted this dress, and I'm like, oh, I like that. So I got it, and I've got a couple of like green tops for like £2. You know, it's ridiculous. It's massive and mad. It's ridiculous. We're going to be proper early. I wanted to set off really early just in case there was any issue. So yeah. I shall go. I'll let you know. I've talked way too much, but I've caught you up now on the gobshites. I shall check in with you later on.
I want to sit down with you, Lolly.
You filming me?
Of course. You chucked any more chocolate on the floor? You chucked any more chocolate on the floor?
Try not to get in the back and then lose
Go on, lad.
He's getting in the driving seat.
Car.
He's driving like that. Oh, I can't put.
It's just the way when he walked in, I think he expected everyone giving him a standing ovation. When he walked in, everyone just sat there looking at him like, what are you doing? So he just stood there.
Right, so let's get out of this car park for a start. We've just got out of Hellraiser. Well, anyway, I really enjoyed it. There will be a full review up on just us talking crap, basically. Nothing very insightful, it has to be said.
Can I have my rant now?
About what?
Really nice listening to him chat, or trying to listen to him chat, but there was a couple of fucking ignorant gits sat near me. Would they put their crisps down? No. Rustle. And it was actually louder than the guy trying to talk to us. I'm thinking, you inconsiderate, rude bastard. Put your fucking... Oh, it was really grinding at me. Really grinding.
Darren gets very angry at loud eating normally, but... Which
So
doesn't
rude.
really annoy me that much, but when someone has been invited that has come all the way from England, that is there to talk to us, has taken his time, especially right now with everything going on, because they said, look, we totally understand if you don't want to come with everything. He said, oh no, I've been to worse. And he made I'm not going to say he made jokes about it, not in a horrible way, but
light of the situation.
he tried to make light of the situation by saying it's Cenobites, you know, basically everybody goes, something cracks off. And he's trying to talk and tell us stories, and the two guys in front of us were sat with popcorn or something, and Jesus
No, one of them had
Christ.
one of those big foil packets of crisps, and part way through, he even put it above his head and tipped it back and was going... And it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, could you not wait till the guy had finished speaking? It was so rude. But anyway, I'll link to the review at the end, but I did really enjoy it. I think more than Darren did. He said if you took a couple of characters out of it, that it would be shite. It's like, what? What do you mean it would be shite?
Those characters make the film. The films were worth watching just for their brief appearances.
I tell you what, I don't understand. Well, my favourite in the film was the guy that played Larry and the woman that played Julia. It wasn't the Cenobites. As much as they're awesome to look at and they're dead creepy. And that scene where Frank's reforming on the floor, I thought that was brilliant. It, to me, was more impactful than when the Cenobites appeared. Anyway, what was I saying? I've forgotten, it's gone. Nope, I enjoyed it.
What you didn't understand was?
What I didn't understand was, right, the house was very clearly British. The people that were helping them move in, the removal men, were British. It seemed very much...
grown men struggling with one mattress.
With one mattress, yeah.
Oh my God.
So, it very clearly looked like the UK. I said, "Sir, is this set in the UK?" And he says, "Yeah." And I says, "Oh, I didn't know that."
And Ice-T helped her up when she passed out on pavement in his New York baseball cap.
Is that who that was?
No, but it looked like Ice-T.
Fuck's sake. I don't know who these people are, so, you know, don't forgive me.
Dear.
But, and the woman, Julia, is obviously British, so I assumed that Laurie had moved to the UK to be with Julia and brought his daughter with him. But, why was everyone else American? Why were all the mates that come around American? Why were all the staff in the hospital that Kirsty, can't remember. Why were they all American? If we're in the UK, why was everyone, apart from the removal men and Julia and two randoms in the street, everyone else was American? And I couldn't quite get my head around, where the hell are we in?
Yeah,
The house
somebody
is
passes
very
out
British.
in the street and they get put in a special ward in a hospital and the police involved. It's like, the poor girl could have just had like a low blood sugar or something. What are you looking her up for?
Well, she was covered in blood, wasn't she?
She had a bit of goo on her, but she not had a lot of blood. And the police will need to speak to you later. Like, why? Just let her go home. Give her a cup of tea, beef tea and a biscuit, and away you go.
Yeah, so I'll switch. Too high a gear, I'm not accelerating enough. So we'll go home and see what more shite's been kicking off in town tonight. It's probably still happening right now, actually. But yeah, it was a good evening. I enjoyed it. I shall switch you back on at some stage when there's something else to tell you. Pleased that we got the gardening done today, so that's a job ticked off the list. Yeah, Jesus, he's not hanging about, is he? Going into town, about to hit a 30 mile an hour, and he's flying. Shall speak to you guys later. Morning, people. Look at that solitary bird. See him? It has been raining all morning. There's a load of birds over there. Bird on a wire, hey? The field behind us, you can see, it's all brown. They've been shit spraying, slurry spraying on that. Oh, the fucking smell yesterday. Look at that sky, it's full of rain. I'm so glad we done the garden. Look at my bush coming back again. Right, having a world of pain today, so it's a sofa day. The old fibro is not enjoying this rain at all. Right, downstairs. Hello, Saturday night. I'll close off the vlog tomorrow because it's Father's Day tomorrow. I'm just going to bed now at 10:30, which is ridiculous because fibro's kicked my arse all day. I've just been exhausted, sore. I feel like I've been like a few rounds with Mike Tyson. I feel bruised from head to foot. I'm so sore. I'm just going to go to bed early tonight. Yeah, busy week next week. I have to take my mum to a neurology appointment on Monday early. Tuesday, I have to take her, where is it on Tuesday? The x-ray, have to take her for a hospital appointment for an x-ray on Tuesday. I'm taking Kira and Sophie out on Wednesday. Thursday, we're hoping to go see 28 Years Later. And Isaac has jiu-jitsu. And Friday, Isaac goes on a weekend with the explorers, camping in the Mourns, which are like mountains. So yeah, busy next week. I shall check in with you guys tomorrow just to close off the vlog for the week. Yeah, night night. So it's Father's Day today.
Get me sellotape on.
We're closing. I tell you what, I'm going to buy sellotape for the back of my ears. I was going to show you the vodka, but don't put it away. I'll show you this little pencil sketch that I ordered online of the girls. That's Father's. I forgot to put an S after that. I should have drawn another dog. Darren likes my fantastic drawings. Let's go find.
Some kitchen table.
Just go show you Darren's vodka. Oh, Jesus Christ, Isaac, that's a bit red.
Yeah.
Did you ever see an emo like that in your life? Isaac, hang on. Yesterday you were wearing them black jeans.
Yeah, no, I spelt foot on them.
Oh, for fuck's Isaac, I've never washed so many clothes for a person in all my life. Right. Thirsty Ferret eel. Hopefully this is nice. It's a nice bottle. Boatyard vodka. Apparently it's Irish. Fucking expensive. And I got him some snacks, some gluten-free snacks. Look at that. Next year. Motionless in White, Youngblood, The Warning, and Metallica. Right.
I can't believe she did that, and she promised that she was going to lean over and press her ample bosom on the windscreen as well. Did not expect that. Very disappointed. Very disappointed in naughty Poopy. Oh, bless her. Bless her. Oh. There she is. Busy in a way.
Out and back and ricochet off us. Be careful, lads.
There's someone in that room, right, please?
I bet, are they local? If they're local, they need out. If they're not local, let them come and stay there.
Here now, you two. Come on. Professor Yaffle. Yes, you. Who's a cheeky girl? Molly, come on. There's one. Molly, come on. She says no. Denied.